Okay, guys, I'm gonna narrate this because my microphone was off when I did the original recording. So let's just dive right into this. Excuse the pun, but this is the remnants of a giant, and it's an amazing thing to look at in a series of archipelagos, which is what this is in the South China Sea. Um, do note that it does very much look like a woman. It reminds me of Marilyn Monroe, if you will, and you can see the different spheres there, almost like iron balls, holding her down underwater. I don't have an explanation for you for that, other than the very distinct and science. We can apply the scientific method to what I'm about to describe over and over and get the same results in virtually every corner of the world. And that is simply to kind of look at the fact that in a post flood scenario, the largest of the giants would become the figurative life preserver, if you will, for the smaller ones. And they would all come to that larger giant and just wait to die. Cannibalism was involved. And we see this reflected in Göbekli Tepe, which is what you're looking at. Look at these shapes of the birds, very distinct, no wings. Look at the elongated legs and these are genetic mutations expressed through giantism. And in the Bible, it talks about this in Genesis 6, when essentially fallen angels came and mated with earth women, and the result of that was the Nephilim and giants, and they were said to have mated with all different manner of beast on earth. And so by what processes that occurred is, conjecture on my part, but do note those shapes because the culture at Göbekli Tepe knew about this and they left us a record very distinctly. Look at that. It almost is that's a very distinct shape. You see the head and everything there. Let's look at the next one. Look at that. It's obviously phallic. It's a penis, a big, huge penis that's alive as its own entity. That's what that is. That sounds a little quirky. Wait till we get back out to the South China Sea and you see these things. And so this is it, okay? These things are huge. Look at that phallic shape. That's what you just saw at Göbekli Tepe, is it not? It's the same thing. Now, that could be an anomaly and just a quirk, but the fact that there's innumerable ones that are all kind of their own, you see how it's segmented there, almost like it was a spinal column up into, what is this, like a spaceship or what is that? It's hard to reckon what that is, guys. We don't really have a reference point, but there's another one right next to it. What are the odds? Billions to one. There's through the processes of erosion, etc. No way. And so all of these different shapes are depicted at Göbekli Tepe, and we see them here. We see some of these other. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He's got a club. He's standing on top of an obelisk. What in the world? Do you see that? And so incomprehensible to think about this, guys. Oh my goodness, that almost looks like a lapis lazuli, obelisk under there. It surely has that shape. What's going on here, guys? I don't have a definitive answer, but we see these same repeating shapes. There you see them again. Under that black, that part's blacked out. You see two of them there. Those are like fossilized creatures. And we see repeatedly that the eyes, a lot of times they'll turn into a lake. These creatures are so big. And there's no precedent. It's world shattering to get this kind of digested just a little bit because it's too much. It's, oh my gosh. Guys, those are the little ones. And what I want to show you here, and I may be doing that in the video, look up right above Spratly Islands. You see that? It says that there. That's the head. To the left of that are the fingers. You come straight down from the heart in between the legs. Okay, and this is the size and scope of what I described, where we see this repeatedly all over the earth. All of these smaller giants, which are incomprehensibly big to us, went to the big one, and they all died there together, okay? This is what we see all over the world in the eyes. Look at this. These are the eyes. We often see the eyes as a last refuge for birds and other creatures which don't have anywhere else to go, and that they eat the eye. Look at the shape hanging over the eye there, very distinct. Again, depicted at Göbekli Tepe without question. That same, you know, look at it. I'm going to zoom in on it here in a minute. And you're thinking, what in the world? Look at that. And I know that it's kind of far out to think about this today, but I'm so excited to share this with you because this is history in the making. And we know that there's been a group that has known this to some degree. How much they've figured out, I'm not privy to that. I don't know. I know that it's a small group. They've really tried to, keep this information from people, and they have their own philosophies with that. Look at the shape. Again, depicted at Göbekli Tepe. There's the eye on the left. Guys, I see this all over, even it has its own eyes. I see this all over the world repeatedly. I'm ready to apply the scientific method for any skeptic to show them what this is. You're looking at the fingers there, the head, the eyes, the legs, and all of these giants, guys, there where they died. And it'll leave you speechless when you understand the scale of this and what was going on Earth. It started out as kind of like a, like a, remember those things, if you have children, those little things that you put your kids in when they play. Now let's go back and look at some of this other stuff down in Antarctica and some of the other places, because you're going to see this repeated all over the Earth. And let's see where I dive into this next. Guys, there it is. That's from the Navy. Okay. Look at the size of the animal. What you have there is multiple animals together and essentially on top of a drain. There's a torus effect at the poles that gives us our magnetosphere. It is something that has been widely misinterpreted. There's a lot of probably what I would say purposeful disinformation related to some security threats that have been kind of perceived that way by the Defense Department, researchers, and others. And you can see the bird shape there on top of the back. Guys, this is from the Navy. Naval Intelligence and CIA passed that document along to me essentially through an algorithm that I tripped from an artificial intelligence interface. And so look at the glyphs that we see down there in Göbekli Tepe, what's been considered the world's oldest temple. Look up there at the left, guys, because look, that's a giant's head. We see the same pattern repeated over and over and over where they'll build inside of the giant's head. Guys, I've seen this in the middle of the South Pacific. I've seen it up in Ottawa, Canada. I've seen it in Antarctica. We see it here in Turkey. It's the same thing. Fascinating. Why would they do, I think they realize, well, when somebody in the future comes to dig this up, they're going to see this and realize, oh, these are giants. And they left us such a detailed record. This is the ultimate decryption key in those glyphs. They're showing us these extinct animals. This is McMurdo Station. Guys, founded in December of 1955. Look at this. They even went through the detail. Look. I'm kind of, giving you a frame of reference for the size. Look at this. These same beings, these same shapes. Okay? These things were alive. This was a result of genetic mutation, and this is the reason why God chose to have the flood according to the Bible. It was evil. They were cannibalistic. They were wicked. They were a hyper sex drive and all this other. That's how the story goes. And even in the apocryphal texts like the Book of Enoch, the Book of Giants, and the others, it's very detailed. And we see this reflected without question. And they chose to hide this, and it insinuates that, look at him sitting there. Look at that guy. God almighty, look how big he is. And look at these, it's too much it's guys, and is this a coincidence? Absolutely not. What are the odds of ancient civilization trying to carry this message down to us, and why would they do it is a very important thing to, want to ask ourselves. I'm going to hop back down there to McMurdo Station and give you guys a look at a couple of other things there because it's so important. The arrowheads, guys, listen. if you think it's a coincidence that these things are there together, this is exactly what you would find if you were out, hunting arrowheads on the Indian reservation. And this came all the way down to us where we are today. Look at them. Look at that. That is a textbook, flint knapped, stone worked set of tools right there. No doubt. 100%. And they're huge. I mean, the scale it's too much to even really think about. We do have the largest dinosaur that we've ever found with its head chopped off right across the little, grotto right there, if you will. So that's another thing. There's a creature right there, and look at the foot right there. Look at that, guys. That's a foot. That's a foot. That's a foot. Okay, don't let anybody tell you different, because this is your heritage, and there's been a lot of disinformation related to this, and it's because of the center of the earth, the whole idea of the Taurus, and this other thing that's got these guys kind of scared more than anything. That's the head of. Look at that. Look at that. That's the head of one of those birds right there. Right there. The triangle there is on its kind of bill. We see these things at frickin' Göbekli Tepe. Look how big it is. That's what you're looking at right there. Look at it. Oh my God. Now we're going to take you down here to the giant head and look at it. It's built in again, just like we saw at Göbekli Tepe. There's megalithic stones in there. And guys, it's historical for you to just hear this today. Okay? I can barely believe I'm telling you this. That's a giant. That's a giant, and this is why they ever went to McMurdo in the first place. Look at that. There's giants upon. Look at that other head right there. There's several of them in there. Oh my God, you guys, look. Okay, this is you guys can go look this up for yourself. I had considered try to how am I going to make a buck off of this? I have worked so freaking hard. It doesn't even matter anymore. I'm literally bumming money to eat. I have to pay my hotel room today because I've been so immersed in this work. I understand the importance of it. There's another one. There's two giants right there side by side. And a little bit of my background, I've worked in cryptography. I've been involved in quantum access related special projects for my entire life, really, as long as I can remember. And so when's the last time you ever heard of megalithic structures in Antarctica? Never. Look at them. Look how big they are. Look at those big ones there. Not just that short tier in the front, but the big tall ones. Good God, guys. What in the world? We've never seen anything like it. People have, but that's a burial ground. Look at the face. That's a burial ground, guys. Oh my God. Do you see that? You know what I'm saying? And so, wow. That's the real thing. And it's so humbling to be in a position like this for me today, because I want to know how you're going to accept this. I know that it clashes with your worldview. It gives you a reason to go back and read that book of Genesis, because there's some allegories and metaphors in there, but it's very, very plain when it talks about this. And the significance of how big this is with how much it's given in the Bible, it makes you think about how powerful that word must be, because look at all those skulls and bodies in there. I mean, are you kidding me? Look right there to the right, the eyes. Look at that skull in the eye. Guys, the whole thing, you know what I'm saying? This is a repeatable, apply the scientific method to this, you're going to get the same results to varying degrees, but you're going to see that same pattern that they use over and over. And so, excuse me, the hypothesis part of this is over, it's proven. And so we're in a new era kind of disclosure with this. We're in a new era of understanding. It's breaking through into the mainstream. And I don't have an explanation for you. This right here, it looks like it's a result of volcanism to some degree, but I haven't ever seen volcanism act just like that, but it's kind of in a crater. So that's really funky. I just wanted to zoom in and show you guys that right there. It's like mother of pearl on the inside of that thing. It's pretty and it's interesting. But a few more things I'm going to show you here. I probably did a better job narrating here than I did in the original video. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it right there. Man, I love you guys. It is so amazing. And so give us a subscription. Give me a like.
Put together a system that generates.
Yeah.